What's up, guys? It's Jason here with Overthink Gaming. Today, I want to talk about a show that's on YouTube. The name of the show is called Arcade Pickers. If you guys know me, you guys know I love arcade machines. That's like my thing. I wish I could have an arcade in my house. In fact, I've been looking at a Mortal Kombat cab. I don't know, man. It's tempting. It's tempting. I know once I buy one, that's all I'm gonna want to buy. That's how it starts. But anyways, this show is called Arcade Pickers. Basically, it's like what's it called? American Pickers. I don't know the name of the show. I never saw it. Or more like the Game Chasers, because I'm more familiar with YouTube. It's similar to that. So basically, Retro Ralph, which I follow his channel, good channel. If you guys are interested in any content that's has to do around arcade, or he just has random stuff, like check out his channel. He does have this cool segment called Coffee Talk where he kind of just goes live and talks to his viewers. I think it's really awesome. And the other guy, I'm not too familiar with him. I believe his name is Caleb. If I butchered that, forgive me. But anyway, so these two guys go out there in the wild to sell arcade sellers, and their mission is to buy arcades at a good price. Any arcades that may need a little TLC, and just take them back home, restore them, and flip them. And that's how the show is getting funded. So these guys are doing it on their own. They're looking for any sponsors or whatever. And I saw the first episode, and I got to say, my impressions after the first episode were really good. I was like impressed. I'm like, dude, this is really good. Now, there was parts that needed improvements because, like, when the show first starts, it starts off with this killer intro. The intro was awesome. And then right after the intro, the first thing you see is them talking in a car. And when you hear that audio, it just it just wasn't good at all. The audio was pretty bad, and it kind of like offset your expectations right away. I was like, okay. But the show does get a lot better. But in their defense, Ralph did go live after the premiere of the show, and he did talk about a lot of things. And one of the things was, they weren't prepared. They just real quick out of the blue got some GoPros and put them up there, which is understandable. It's not like they have this big old crew behind them, a bunch of money funding them. For what they had, they did a awesome job, I gotta say, man. It was really good. In fact, I believe Caleb's 13-year-old kid was filming it. I gotta say, any person to film, it's not easy doing that. It really isn't. So he did a good job. I gotta say, hands off to this kid, man. He did a good job there. It was a little shaky, but it's the way it is. How are you supposed to hold that? Like, seriously, the filming is a lot harder than what it looks, but I think they did a really good job. In this episode, there was a part where Retro Ralph went to the section of Street Fighter games. That's where I was like, oh my God. Like, that part was like, dude, I want one of those cabs so bad. I'm a big Street Fighter fan. So I really enjoyed that segment. And let's talk about the seller Flynn in that show. So Flynn, he didn't really have personality. And that's where I was like, oh man, like I wish he had more personality. It's like he didn't want to be filmed. And then in that, after the premiere on that live show, they did kind of touch on that. But other than that, man, like the show went well. I was all like, dude, for our first episode, I was impressed. I was like, damn, this is really good. Now their second episode just aired, and I gotta say, wow, it's like so many steps above from the first one. So if their second show got this much better, I'm like, dude, I'm hoping for a future, and I'm already invested. Like, I'm hoping for a future for Arcade Pickers, because on this second episode, the filming was different. It upped big time, and I gotta say the editing was really cool, because there's parts in the editing that you get to learn the history and stuff like this. And the seller that they ran into this time was a guy named Dave. This dude, I swear he was made for the camera. This dude was great, man. He had that, like, that the way he talked, like a way you would see in a show. He definitely had that show. Now the whole show has that vibe, that will something you'll watch on TV. It may come off as like a little bit of acting, and when they start negotiating. In this one, the editing started having that dramatic music, and they start going back and forth of the negotiating, almost like something on Pawn Stars. It was pretty funny, but that's what you gotta do if you want to be a show. I understand that's what you gotta do. And they added like a little bit of comedy that was put in there, like one part where Ralph like supposedly had Caleb's keys, and Caleb's like, where's my keys? But then the show ends like with Ralph making a joke. Like, little things like that make a show. I was invested from the beginning to the end. And the cabinets they showed at Dave's place, I was all like, holy shit, man. It was really, really good. It was a show that I got invested to. I can't wait till they make more. And if you guys watch those shows and you guys want to watch more, check out some of the restoration videos that Ralph has done on his channel. Like I was all watching that Killer Instinct one. I'm all invested in that one right now because I want that cap so bad too. But anyways, this is just me rambling on about arcade stuff because this show is way too awesome, man. And I really want like this show to get funded and more and supported because man, it's just different. Let's keep arcades alive. That's just my dream, man. One of these days, dude, one of these days arcades are gonna come back. And I'm not talking about these barcades. Like, nah. I'm talking about where you just go relax. That's my dream. It's never coming back. But I wish I could build an arcade here at my house. Maybe, just maybe. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please drop a like. If you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I'll be catching you guys soon. Peace out.